Phoenix Audio presents
Hitman, 40 Years Making Music, Topping Charts, and Winning Grammys, by David Foster, with Pablo Fenbez. Acknowledgements. When I finally decided to write this book, there were a few things I couldn't get my head around. One, did anybody really give a shit about my story or what I had to say? Two, in trying to be as truthful as possible, would I alienate certain people? And three, and most important, how was I possibly going to include everyone I wanted to include? On this last issue, there are hundreds of people who mean a lot to me, many of whom have been a critical part of my journey, and I apologize in advance if you didn't get a shout-out. I know how it is. Whenever a guy like me writes a book, all of his friends rush to the local bookstore and immediately turn to the index looking for their own names. And I know this because I've done it myself. So if you're not in there, I apologize. But I'd also like to take this opportunity to speak to some of you directly. Thanks to Bob Daly and Terry Semmel, the two guiding lights who brilliantly ran Warner Brothers Pictures for so many years, and who subsequently became my bosses when they took over Warner Music. Thanks also to their terrific wives, Jane Semmel and Carol Bayer Sager. I still remember when it was time to renew my deal, and Terry, knowing I was a total jet slut, said the magic words. Not only can you use the Warner's jet, I want you to use it. Thank you. That really clinched it. Thanks to Ned Shankman and his partner, Ron de Blasio. Ned was my lawyer and then my manager back in the 80s, and he made great deals for me and taught me a lot about the music business. Thanks to Brian Abnett, whom I met while I was playing piano on the stage version of the Rocky Horror Show 33 years ago. Brian managed me in the 90s, and he manages Josh Groban, Renee Olstead, and my friend Eric Benet, an amazing singer. Greetings to my longtime business manager, Ralph Goldman, now retired, who took me on when I was nobody and who took my calls anytime, day and night. Ralph also saved me from my first business manager, who somehow never got around to paying my taxes. I remember meeting Ralph for the first time for lunch at the Palm in Beverly Hills, and I was very proud of myself because I had just saved $1 million. And Ralph said, well, I've been reviewing your history and I'm going to take you on as a client. And the first thing you need to do is give the U.S. government $1 million in back taxes. I literally dropped my fork. I went from millionaire to pauper before I'd had my first bite. Thanks to Howard Grossman, who took over as my business manager 10 years ago after Ralph retired. A friend, a confidant, and a guy I'm on the phone with every day, sometimes several times a day. You bring me peace of mind, man, and I appreciate it. I don't think there's anyone in my professional life that has my back the way you do. Courtney Blooding. You started with me as an intern until I...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?